President Trump's proposed budget cuts the U.S. State Department and Agency for International Development by nearly a third. Last week, Catholic Relief Services released a letter signed by 106 Christian leaders protesting the cuts. Joining us now is Bill O'Keefe, Catholic Relief Services Vice President for Government Relations and Advocacy. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
One of the programs that is likely to be cut is Food for Peace, and you have that in 14 different countries, if I'm not right, and it provides emergency assistance in case of natural disasters. What happens if this is cut?
Well, there are 20 million people right now who are at risk of famine in 4 countries, South Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, and Nigeria, and they're affected by natural disasters, drought, and then conflict as well. And there really is not a plan B for those people because the U.S. is by far the largest and most generous donor for emergency food assistance for situations like this.
Well, give me a percentage, if you could, roughly, about how much the U.S. provides in contrast to Catholic Relief Services. Is it a huge percentage? Are you able to really give a lot of help too?
Sure. We're able to give a lot of help. So is the local church and the church in the United States through CRS. But compared to the United States government in these huge emergencies like this, we cannot mobilize resources at that kind of scale.
How are you going to work with other countries to minimize this impact if this happens?
We'll be working, first of all, with the countries affected, of course, in the local church, and we'll be trying to figure out ways to help people to grow their own food, to buy food in the markets. We'll, of course, raise our own money, but frankly, the EU and the other governments of the world just generally do not step up like the United States does. We are so fortunate in this country. We're so generous, and
well, if you see that you are making a difference, is there some sort of, I don't know, message that you could send to the Obama administration why keeping these programs, Trump administration, excuse me, old habit, how we could minimize that impact, or what else does it do? Lower security risks around the country?
Well, I think the Trump administration actually, as they get more into place and understand these programs, is going to take that education and probably change their approach. Frankly, it is an important security consideration. Let's take Ethiopia. Last year, CRS provided food assistance to 2.9 million people in Ethiopia. There was a terrible drought, but it did not turn into a terrible famine.
Why?
And therefore, because Food for Peace and the United States government stepped up and through groups like CRS was able to prevent it from getting out of control. And that kept that country relatively stable. Ethiopia is an ally in the war against terror. It's a critically important country in the Horn of Africa. So that there are security implications to these humanitarian crises.
Right. Very good. Bill O'Keefe, Vice President for Government Relations and Advocacy at the Catholic Relief Services. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Lauren.